What's up, guys? I'm back. Sorry, I went on a little hiatus for a while, but I'm back. Nothing happened. Everything was good, just enjoying the summer. July was long, but fun. I was in school, had a summer class, and just really enjoying my time. I guess recreating me, being me. I don't know. But I'm back, so yeah, we're back in action. I hope you guys have been enjoying your summer so far and everything has been good with you. I know I have. And I'm desperately waiting for my vacation. Just a few more days till I get to go and be on the beach somewhere nice with blue water. I'm so excited about that. The artist series, I hope you guys have enjoyed that from my two friends, Danielle and Jamal. The artist series is not finished. There will be more artists. I know you're probably like, how are you just going to do a series with just two people? I'm not. The series will pick back up in October. So be on the lookout for that. I have more incredible friends who do amazing things that they're going to talk to you about it. And yeah. So speaking of amazing friends that do amazing things, that is also an artist. My intro song for this episode was by Mona Bria, and that song is called Flaws. I actually had the pleasure of hearing her perform that recently, and it was so great. Her voice is so pure and just so real and unique. I loved every second about her performance. So I just had to come listen to her song. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, and Tidal. I definitely had to go listen to it because I loved it so much. So check her out. You can check her out on Instagram at Mona Bria. I believe that's her name on Instagram as well. She's really dope. And her pictures are amazing. She's so beautiful. She's such a great person. So yeah, shout out to you, Mona Bria. Alright. So we're just going to get right into it. You know how we do. Spotlight. So this episode of Spotlight, I'm going to spotlight my friends as I always do, because I think that it's very important to support your friends and put your friends on and give them platforms to be creative and, get their stuff out there, because it's hard out here. And how else would you get recognition if you don't have friends that support you? So first person I'm going to spotlight is my friend Ayana. I've talked about her and she's been on Spotlight before. She is my graphic designer for the podcast. She has a business called Karin Productions, Karin Productions, and she does great work. She used to do graphic design in college for our flyers and things like that for various clubs and classes, and she does a great job with the podcast designs. I literally just tell her what I want and it comes out perfectly. I don't even have to give her that much detail. She just knows, and I think that just goes to show like our friendship as well. Like she knows me and knows what I like, but she does a great job. So you guys should check her out. Her website is Karin Productions. Google it, and hit her up. She has really great prices on things, and she does her work in such a short time. Like, she does it in a timely manner. You'll never be waiting like months to hear back from her or to get what you paid for. She comes through. Another person I'm gonna shout out is my friend JT, who you're gonna hear from in the artist series in October. But I want to shout him out because he just had a song come out this week on July, I think it was the 24th. Yes, July 24th, called Easy Lover. And you can find JT on Instagram at JTJAYT, and on iTunes, Spotify, and Tidal at the same name, JTJAYT. He has an EP. His EP was great, so you should check out that EP. And his new song, Easy Lover, it's everywhere that you can stream music. It's there. So shout out to you, JT. I saw him perform also in July at SOBs, and it was dope. He's a great performer, and I could tell the passion that he has on stage, and he has such a great stage presence. So shout out to you, JT. Who else do I want to shout out? I want to shout out my friend Sierra. I think I shouted her out on the last episode, but I'm gonna shout her out again because she's just starting her vlog, and she's been doing incredible. She's such a beautiful person inside out, and her vlog on YouTube is amazing. She talks about a lot of different things that is relatable to everybody, not just, young people and millennials and the whole nine. She talks about things that is relatable, and she's great at it, and she looks beautiful while she's doing it. So her YouTube channel is Sierra Tamarin, SIERRA TAMIRIN. You can look at her videos. She has quite a few now. I think she has maybe 7 or 10 between there. She puts out a video, I believe, every week on Sunday, but she usually, lets us know. But shout out to you, Sierra. Keep up the good work. Keep up your views. You're doing a great job, and I love all of your videos. Yes, I do watch them, and I watch them multiple times. And I think that's all the shout outs I have for right now for Spotlight segment. So we're just going to move right on into interesting news. Alright guys, so the news. Y'all. Let me just say that it has been a very complicated and interesting 2 months. A lot of things happened that is just what? But it's also we weren't surprised that it was going to happen. So yeah, I'm not even going to go into detail of life. But before I even get into the nitty gritty of the news, I just want to say rest in peace and shout out to Heather Heyer, who was killed in, Charlottesville, Virginia. She was hit by the car that was driving crazily into a group of people. She did not deserve to die like that. That is so sad. She was standing for the cause, in civil rights, standing in solidarity with minority groups, just making her presence known, doing her duty as a citizen of America with morals and who has common sense and knows what is right from wrong. So sadly, she was killed in that tragic event that happened in Charlottesville. And since we're talking about Charlottesville, you might as well go ahead and just say, 1, was I surprised? No, I actually was not surprised. When I saw what was going on in Charlottesville, the first thought I had was, thank you, Jesus. I did not go to UVA because that was one of the schools on my list. And I actually love the campus, love the environment, but that's not what God had for me. And I'm so grateful for that because I don't really know how I would feel if I was a black student on that campus and that happened. Second of all, as a black female in America, I am not surprised about these neo-Nazis, white supremacists, white nationalists coming out the woodwork and the KKK. No, they didn't just, come out of nowhere. These people have been here all along. They've just been having their meetings and rallies in secret for the past couple of years. So they had half of you American people fooled, thinking that, these racist groups have disappeared. Racism doesn't exist in America. Well, black people and other minority groups have been telling you for years and years and years that racism still exists, and there's still a great number of people that hate us, and they'll do anything to get their quote-unquote America back. So, welcome, rest of the world, rest of America, to the struggles of minority people every day. We knew these people were here. I'm glad that you got to see them face to face on television. Not that that's going to change a lot of you guys' minds about, racism in this country, but that's just fine. It's right there plain for you to see, and it's a part of history now, so you can't forget it, and you won't be able to deny it. You can try, but you won't be so successful. Also, when I saw this craziness, I was just like, why are you wasting your time? And then I thought about, who we have in office. Like, these people have really gotten bold over the past couple of months. Like, we have a president who was just like, who campaigned off of racism. What? And people are literally surprised that there are people out here saying, this is our America, this is our country, we're going to take it back, they can't have it, and all this mess. No. The president that y'all voted for, yes, y'all voted for, did this. Okay? I did not vote for him. Anyway, so none of this surprised me at all. I did have an interesting conversation with a friend who was genuinely asking me why there weren't, black people or Black Lives Matter or, other minority groups out there counter-protesting in Charlottesville. And I kind of understood her question because, this is what we do. We go out, we protest, we make our voices heard, we make our frustration heard. And eventually other counter protests did happen around the country, but during that time, during that weekend, it didn't happen as far as minorities and Black Lives Matter being out there counter protesting for the most part. And I guess I can kind of answer her question. Well, this is how I answered her question. In my mind, I'm like, well, why do I have to go out and protest these racist white people for stating their opinion? You know what I'm saying? Why do I have to go out there and protest them? I've been protesting for years. For literal years. I started personally protesting in college. My sophomore year in college, I started protesting. I started going out there in these streets of New York and protesting injustices for my people. So I've been doing this for a while. Not as long as a lot of people, but I've been doing it for long enough to be tired. So my first thought was like, no, what do you mean? I've been doing this. I'm just a little tired. So no, I wasn't getting out of my bed, dropping my responsibilities to go protest this time. Second of all, I thought of, lady, these are your people. Your people. They look like you. Get your people. Go have a conversation with people that look like you and get them together. Black people are tired of gathering white people, and they're just ignorance, for lack of better words. That's the best word I can come up with right now. Like, we're so tired of having to explain why these things that they're saying, that they're doing is offensive and inappropriate, and this is racist. We're oftentimes called too sensitive, or we're just imagining things, or we're just playing the race card. So as a whole, we're just a little bit tired. So no, we weren't getting up to go outside and protest. None of that. And then it's just what other way could you have protested? Like, what could you have said that has not already been said? So I just told her, look, it's time for us to pass the torch to quote unquote woke white people that are non-racist, to get out there and you do some of the labor. Take up the torch. Go out there and do the hard work that black people have been doing for years. Let us take a break this time. Sit down in front of our TVs, eat some cake and ice cream, and watch this go down. Okay? Let us take a breather this time. Okay? And then finally, I responded as, common sense would say, as a black person, why would I go out to a rowdy protest with white people that have weapons? These people had a freaking militia, y'all. A militia out here. What? Why do we still have militias? And why is that okay? Because if somebody of color were to go outside equally with their weapons, because it's legal to carry a weapon in some states, some areas, it would have been a totally different story. What? Do you know how many people would have died? They would have opened fire on us. So no, I didn't feel like going outside and losing my life today. And nobody else decided they wanted to go outside and lose their lives because there's no reasoning. They already hate us, so I'm just going to go outside with no weapon? You're crazy. You're out of pocket, not doing that. So if you had the same similar question as my dear friend who is non-person of color, those are my answers. It's just common sense to me why there weren't black people out there counter-protesting in the heat of the moment. Yes, there were some, but there weren't a lot. And that's just my opinion on why I wasn't out there. Moving right along. So, was it a week ago? 2 weeks ago? I lose track of time these days. But Hurricane Harvey hit Texas once. Yeah, last weekend. And it was devastating, to say the least. Lots of flooding, lots of people trapped and stranded, and nobody to help. Just the waters were so high. I saw first pictures of literal highways flooded. And I was like, is this real? Or am I imagining things? But no, a lot of it was real, and people's houses and things were covered in water, just completely gone. A lot of houses were just completely washed away from the wind impact and the harsh waters. So yeah, it is definitely devastating right now in Houston, Texas, and a great portion of Texas. The hurricane actually left and went back into the ocean, gained some more strength, and came back and hit more of Houston and more of the surrounding areas. So people are, without homes, without food, without clothes, without a lot of their basic needs. But I'm so happy to see and have heard that people in Texas and all over this great country have been lending helping hands. People have sent, I don't know, it's probably thousands of cases of water. Every post that I've seen on social media has been we just got 300 cases of water, and they're 40 packs. What? So there has to be a good 2,000 cases of water in Texas or making its way to Texas right now, which is amazing. People have been donating their clothes. People have been buying clothes and things for people, which I think is great. A lot of people and celebrities have been putting money into, foundations and organizations to help in the relief. And I've actually seen some celebrities go down and put their money where their mouth is and get their hands dirty and actually go and help. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, I'm going to give $100K and still stay in my house and do what I got to do. But it's another thing to say, yeah, I'm donating, but I'm also taking myself and my family and my friends and my posse basically down to get my hands dirty and actually help. So I'm praying for Houston and Texas right now. It's going to be a long, difficult road to recovery and just getting life back to normal. But, there are a lot of people that are willing and able to help. Personally, I'm affected by this tragedy because I do have family members that live there. I also have friends that live in the Houston area that are affected by this storm. Yeah, I know people that lost everything. Like literally everything. And I can't even imagine losing my phone. So when I didn't have a phone, I was like, what's my life? And I didn't have a wallet. What is my life? I can't even imagine losing everything. Not even just a roof over my head, but all of the clothes and items that I take for granted on a daily basis. I can't imagine losing it. So this is just a reminder to people who still have homes to go to and still have things inside of our homes that we get to use, to not take things for granted. Even the smallest thing, like putting socks on, don't take that for granted, because there are people that don't have socks right now. There are people that are standing in line trying to get socks and underwear and things of that nature, and a toothbrush, to just live their lives. Forget about having a place to sleep. Like, they don't have clothes to put on their backs. So don't take the smallest things that you have for granted, ever. Everything you have is a gift from God, and it is a blessing. And if you have money or just things that you don't use, I have a plethora of things I don't use, clothes I don't wear. I do give clothes to Goodwill. So instead of giving my clothes to Goodwill this time, I'm sending them right on down to Texas through, people that I know that are taking trips down there, so that I know it's going to a good cause. But yes, so let's just keep all of the Hurricane Harvey victims in our prayers. I heard some reports that it actually hit some parts of Louisiana. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm not sure if it was like a big thing because, the news and social media hasn't really been on top of it. But if it has moved, or it moved and it hit other parts that are outside of Texas, we need to help them too. We need to help as many people as we can. And even if you're donating like $5, or if you decide to go buy a pack of water and I'm going to send this, do that. But don't do nothing, because I truly believe that everybody has a means to do something, no matter how small you think it is. Going to buy a toothpaste pack, they have them in little packs now at Target and Walmart, even at CVS and Duane Reade. Even buying that and saying, here, this is what I could do, it cost me $4, great, do it and give it. Nothing is too small at this point. So yeah, Harvey victims, you're my prayers. My friends and family, if you need stuff, hit me up and I will do whatever I can to help you any more that I already have. Y'all are my people, so I got you. Okay, enough with the sadness. Time to throw some positivity in there. It's back to school time. A lot of people are already back to school. So congratulations to you guys for embarking on a new school year. And I know some people are like 3-4 weeks in. Whew, I can't even imagine. I am 2 days in, and it's been rough. But it's that time of the year again where everybody, goes back to school. Shout out to all of my peoples that are back in college. I remember that's just sinking of my soul when school started again. I don't really feel like that this year because I didn't have a break. I had like a 4-week break. Not fair. I had to take a summer class for the first time in my life. That was a struggle. But I have since recovered from that. I'm okay. School has started again. It is my last year of my master's, and I really can't believe how that first year just went by so fast. So here's my word of encouragement for those of you who are back in college or, back in high school or whatever, and it's your last year. It's gonna go by super fast, okay? Just keep that in the back of your mind that it'll all be over soon and very soon. But enjoy the little moments that happened. There are a lot of things that happened last year that I wish I would have cherished a little bit more as far as learning in my personal growth. But that's okay. I learned something. I still take pieces of that with me, but I've made a vow to myself to cherish every moment of my last year of my master's. So if you're back to school, get it in, do what you gotta do. Don't skip homework assignments. I've said this before. Do what you have to do. You understand? Do what you have to do. Go to class. My college kids, go to class. Please, go to class. You're spending thousands of dollars. Go to class. You can skip a class every now and again if you need to, but don't show up to class at the end of the semester and expecting to learn something, expecting to pass something, expecting your professor to care that you're back in class because you weren't there. So yes, go to class, do your work, handle your responsibilities, and get this year done. Before you know it, it'll be winter break, so, do what you have to do, for real. Also, I saw this video yesterday on Instagram, since we're talking about back to school. Parents, please do not kill each other in the store over these school supplies. I literally saw a mother yanking a girl by her hair for the last pack of a binder or something, the last 3-ring binder. What? And then another lady was trying to pull them apart, and then I guess she felt threatened. I don't know what was going on. This was in a Walmart, and she pulled out a gun. Look, it's never that serious. Y'all need to calm down. It is okay. I understand that school shopping can be very stressful, especially when you're school shopping for more than one child. I get it. But it's never that serious that we have to pull out weapons on each other and we have to pull little children's hair, okay? It's never that serious. So let's all just woo-saw and go into Walmart and Target with sanity and common sense, level heads, and do our school shopping if we still need to. Also, maybe we should make a mental note for next year not to do school shopping at the last minute. I understand that for 2-3 weeks, all the school supplies are on these insane sales. So, we like to wait till then. Wonderful. But don't wait till the last minute, and then we won't have to fight over stuff because they get to restock things. Don't kill each other over school supplies. All right? Also, teachers that require these outrageous things for school supplies, I have actually looked at some of elementary school lists, and I just want to understand, why do children
who are like 4 foot something. Why do they need these big old binders? You know, like the super big 3-ring binders? I don't even know what they're called, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Those binders that you have at your job that keep years and years of records. You know, when you do presentations and you have to pass those things out and you have to use those big binders. Why do children need these binders for school? Somebody help me. What are they putting in them? What are we putting in them? I remember in elementary school where, you know, the big 3-ring binders were like a thing, but you put every subject in that binder. But it also wasn't like a requirement. And it also wasn't something that we had to take home every day. I had that binder like the 3rd grade, and it zipped up and had a little Velcro patch that closed it too. But that was left in my desk. Actually, it couldn't even fit in my desk, so we had little crates and bins for them. That's how big they were. Students, they don't need that. They're like in the 3rd grade. Like they don't need this. And then requiring all of these like different kinds of pens. I saw a school supply list that the teacher wanted her students to have a specific type of pen. What? If I was a parent, I would be like, ma'am, are you going to go to the store and buy these pens? Because no. Like, you're taking it to a new level. Like a new level. And then requiring certain type of paper, like college ruled or wide ruled. Look. Y'all know elementary school kids cannot write in them tiny lines of college ruled. I can barely write in the lines of college ruled. When I first started using college ruled paper, I literally would skip lines because the lines were too small. I couldn't read what I was writing. So, look, teachers, y'all need to calm down with this school supply list because you're stressing everybody out. Everybody is stressed, running to the store to get these insane things for their kids. And then the sad thing about it is they're probably not going to use all of this stuff. They're going to have so much stuff left over. That would piss me off. That would make me mad as a parent. Like, I spent all this money and they didn't even use it. Like, no. So let's all, it's back to school. This is a happy, joyous time. Kids are moving up to different grades, different levels, and their education. They're doing great. They had a great summer. Let's not stress each other out. Let's be okay. All right. Let's be all right. Let's have some sanity here for the remainder of the school year. But yes. All right. That's all I have for interesting news and things like that. We're going to get into our topic for this week. That does involve school. But this is specifically for my juniors and seniors of high school and those who have taken a break between high school and college, or who are adults who didn't go to college and they're thinking about going to college, but they're not really sure if they should. So, let's get right into this. So, the topic this week is college for me? Now, I am not one to say that everybody has to go to college. Okay, parents, don't kill me. Please. Yes, college is important, but it is not for everybody. And that is just the reality. Now, we do live in a society where a lot of jobs, even jobs where you wouldn't think you would need a degree for, you need a degree for, which is fine. But not everybody is equipped for college. College is this 4-year thing that not everybody can handle. It is very stressful to be a college student. Unnecessarily. Like it's a lot to take in and to handle and to process for 4 years. You really don't get the hang of it until your senior year, and then by the time you get the hang of it, you're finished. So, yeah. So, I'm specifically really talking to my high schoolers because you guys have your parents down your throats trying to make you make these decisions that you're not so sure you're ready to make. So, I just have some advice for you on whether or not college is for you and how to kind of assess whether college is the right thing for you to pursue next. Now, I'm only speaking from my own personal opinion and how I went about deciding if college was for me. Okay, I take that back. I decided after I knew that college was for me. Because I didn't have a choice whether or not to go to college. I grew up in that kind of household, which is fine, you know. It was a great push, a great agreement that I had, that the only way that I was going to be supported was to go to school. Otherwise, I was going to have to take my little grown self and get a job and move out. So, yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to college. That's not an option. Great. I'll figure out what I'm going to do. So my personal opinion, my personal experience, hopefully this helps someone out there to kind of start to think about whether they should go to college or not and how long they should go to college for. Maybe they don't need to go to college for 4 years. Maybe they can just go to college for 2 and get an associate's degree. You know, everything counts. These are degrees. Don't let anyone ever tell you that an associate's degree is not a degree. Why? Because you paid money to get this degree. You sat in those classes. You did work. You turned in papers. You studied for tests. That is a degree. That's why it's called an associate's degree. Okay? It still counts. Don't let nobody tell you that it doesn't count. Because I know some people like to be all high and mighty and be rude and say, no, it doesn't count. No, don't believe them. Anyway, so when I was a junior in high school, I think I was about to be a junior. So it kind of started the summer after my sophomore year of high school. But even before that, it really started my sophomore year of high school. The first step that I took for college was I took the PSAT, which is just the practice test for the SAT, as a sophomore. Nobody else in my class was taking the PSAT. I was the only one. There were juniors taking the PSAT, but I was the only sophomore that took the PSAT. Now, I was like, what? Why am I taking this test? I don't understand. This is a waste of my time. But it actually wasn't. It got to assess how ready I was to take the SAT. Now, for those of you who are like, what is the SAT? You haven't gotten that far yet? The SAT is that dumb test that you have to take. Yes, I called it dumb. That assesses all the things that you have learned throughout high school, or that you were supposed to learn throughout your 4 years of high school, to see if you're ready for college. If you've learned what you needed to learn for college, to be successful in college, yada yada. So the practice SAT is just assessing how ready you are to take the SAT and how well you'll do when you take the SAT. So I took that sophomore year. Needless to say, I did great in the writing and reading comprehension portion and whatever else came with it. Science, something. But that math has never, ever been my strongest subject in life. Never. So I had some work to do. But I was glad that I took that test because I knew, hey, for the rest of my sophomore year and my junior and senior year, I need to do better in math and understanding math as a whole. Like everything I've learned up to now, I need to remember that. Everything I learned after this, I need to remember. Great. So my junior year, I took the PSAT again. I did a little bit better in the math portion. I did about the same as would be expected as a junior for the rest of the tests. But I wasn't really focused on the rest of the tests. I was focused on the math part. So I did a little bit better. It wasn't great, but it was better than before. So I was feeling a little bit confident about that. So rewinding a little bit. So back to the summer after my sophomore year, this is when I started to think about college. This is when my sister said, all right, you got 2 more years left. This junior year is going to go by fast. Looking for colleges is stressful and hectic. So we're going to get a head start. So let's just go and let's think about where you want to go to school. What do you want to study? Great. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I want to major in college. Well, what do I like to do? I like to do a lot of things. So I had to sit down and think about all the things that I like to do. And then I had to research all of the things that could potentially be majors for things that I like to do. The great thing about taking the PSAT was that now I had access to this thing called College Board. If you've taken any standardized tests, like the PSAT, ACT, or SAT, you know about College Board. College Board saved my life. So I got to use College Board, and College Board has every school in America on there, and it tells you like how much tuition is, all the majors and minors that they have, the requirements for getting in, the potential essay questions for their applications, everything. College Board has everything. And College Board has these assessment tests that you can take to figure out what you're interested in and what your possible majors can be based on your personality and your interests. So, needless to say, this summer, before my junior year, I took all of those assessment tests. I'm not kidding. I took every last one of them. And it was like weird because every assessment test kind of like, some of them gave me similar responses, and then others were like, no, you're good at this, you can do that. And I was confused. I was just a tad bit confused. So I didn't really rely on the assessment test as much during that time. I just decided to think about areas where I wanted to go to school. So, areas I chose were mostly city areas. I did have a school, suburban area. Yeah, but it was kind of mostly cities. Major cities, or, places where I had never been before and I was interested in actually living. So schools that were on my list were UVA. It was close to home, but far enough away from home that I wouldn't feel like I was at home. Spelman. I heard great things about Spelman, and I was kind of feeling that I want to go to the HBCU type thing, but I love Atlanta because I've been to Atlanta. I want to explore. So I put Spelman on my list. What else? I had Temple on my list. I don't really remember how Temple got on my list, but it ended up there. And it was great because I had family that lived very close to Temple, so it would have been a great fit. I also had Columbia on my list. I was forced to pick an Ivy League school, so I did my research. The best Ivy League school for me? Columbia. Great. New York, why not? Also in my school was Howard. I picked Howard as a safety school. I did not want to go to Howard, but I chose to send in an application because it was a safety. You have to have your safety schools. We'll get back to that. And I also picked University of Maryland, was also a safety school. And I think there was one more. Oh, Oakwood University. That was like the last on my list. Fast forward to the future, Dara did not go to any of those schools. Dara ended up at a school that was not on her list. It's a mystery. But yes, so getting back. So I had 6 schools on my list that I was very interested in and very excited about, going to see them and seeing what the environment is like and everything. So, by the time my junior year came around, I was ready to go on campus tours. Major key alert. Go on campus tours. Open houses. Go to them. I repeat, go on campus tours. Period. Explanation point. All of that. It is so important because I have known people who have ended up at schools who didn't go on a college tour but was so excited about going to this school but hated it. And a lot of times they didn't even hate it because of the school itself. They hated the location. All of this could have been handled if you went on a college tour. Now, let's be realistic. To go to colleges, that costs money because you have to travel. This is why it is important to plan ahead. This all goes into assessing whether college is for you. We haven't even gotten to the application portion because that doesn't matter until you figure out which schools you actually want to keep on your list. Alright, so it costs money to travel to go on college tours. This is why planning is important. You want to be able to assess. So if you chose a school in Florida, well, are you paying to go to Florida or are your parents paying to go to Florida? Exactly. Most likely, you're not paying to go to Florida. So, you have a decision to make. Either you get to travel to Florida on your own dime some way, or you're flying with your parents' money or whatever. So, you get to make that decision, but you also get to choose when you're going so that you get the best cost-effective, kind of situation for yourself. But if you don't know where you want to go to school or have any idea, then you won't know that it's going to cost you, $300, $400 to get to Florida and back. Mind you, you do have to stay there, a night or two. Or you're going to drive, whatever. So, start thinking about locations that you want to go to school. Because then the ones that you can drive to, the ones that are pretty close, you can save those for a little bit later. You don't have to do those right away. I suggest doing the ones that you have to travel to during the summertime before school starts, or before school starts to get really hectic and crazy, because then you can turn trips into vacations. So you get the best of both worlds. You don't feel like you came all the way out here to see a school that you wind up not liking for nothing. So yeah, when I went to tour Spelman, we had already planned to be in Atlanta for a major church conference anyway. So we killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Did what we had to do, but had a campus tour set up on a Friday while we were already there. We were there for the whole weekend anyway. So keep these things in mind. Alright. So, also a part of going to campus tours, College Board has a checklist that you can print out. So in every campus tour, you can write down important information like tuition. Tuition is the top of the list. We all want to know how much tuition is and how much does tuition increase per year. Important. These are questions you must ask on college tours. Second thing you want to ask that is also on the checklist is dorm. Let's look at these dorm rooms and see what we're working with here. All right? One thing I found out when I was in Spelman was that freshmen do not get air. Now, I don't know if that is still a thing there, but freshmen do not get central air. The people that get central air conditioning are in the honors college. So, mental note to self, on that tour, I said, oh, okay, so I need to have a GPA of a 3.5 or higher to get into the honors college so that I can have some air. For those of you who have not been to Georgia, it's hot. Hot. Hot, hot, hot. I need air. Things that you would only find out if you did a campus tour. Also, during campus tour, you're most likely able to speak to a financial aid representative or agent during that time. They usually try to set up small meetings, like 10 to 15 minutes, so you can ask your general questions, or they'll have one agent come and speak to a group as a whole. That is important because then you kind of get an assessment of how much aid the school provides, how much aid on average each student gets per year based on their social economic status or whatever the case may be, their gender, their race, blah, blah, blah. Schools give out aid for different reasons. You also will be able to get an assessment of how many students receive federal aid that is not a scholarship or grant. Those loans, those annoying loans that everybody has. You get to assess how much freshman students get coming in. Important to talk to the financial aid representative on your campus tour. It will help you a lot. You will be able to eliminate schools so quickly based on these conversations. And also another perk of going on a campus tour is not just seeing the campus and getting like a feel for how things flow. The people doing the campus tour are students. They've been students for at least a year. They know how things go. You can ask them whatever you want. Take advantage of the campus tour people. Your tour guides, that's what they're called. Take advantage of them. Ask them questions. Like, literally. I asked, every tour I was on, I asked the tour guide, what did I ask? Oh, what is the best part about this school, in your opinion? And they would tell me. For some of them, it was the sports. Some of them, it was the campus environment. Some of them, it was the school camaraderie and how everybody, kind of was there for each other. It was easy to make friends. It was easy to get along with people. Everybody has their different reasons. And then you can ask them what their least favorite thing about the school is. And they will be honest with you. They're not going to lie to you. They really aren't. Because they don't benefit from lying to you at all. Because at the end of the day, they still have to come back to school and they still have to deal with the stuff that they don't like and the stuff that they like. So they're not going to lie to you. They're going to be very honest. So yes, precursors to choosing a college. Figure out what areas you're interested in. Go on campus tours. Utilize College Board. Take that PSAT. Juniors, take the PSAT. It will give you an assessment of what you need to study for the SAT. All right? That's just some of the ways that I chose schools. Did I eliminate schools off my list from tours? I did not eliminate them, but I ranked them. So, after seeing all of them, I went to every school except for Oakwood and Howard. I didn't do a campus tour of Howard. Oakwood was too far. I had to fly to Alabama, and I didn't really want to do all that. All my other schools I could drive to, except, Atlanta. I already planned to be in Atlanta, so that just happened. But Oakwood I didn't tour, and Howard I didn't tour. I didn't want to tour Howard. My sister just kind of drove by Howard and was like, hey, this is Howard. And I was like, no. No knock to Howard, people. Like, I love y'all. Y'all school is bomb. But I really wasn't trying to stay at home. I was trying to go away. That was my goal. That is another thing you need to think about. Do you really want to stay close to home? Or do you want to go a few hours away? I did not want to be anywhere near home. I wanted to go far away. That is why I was all the way in Georgia. So yes, think about those things. Okay, so once you've done all that, it's really time to start to figure out what you want to major in. Now, look, I know that people go to college undecided. I do. Great. A lot of times they go undecided because they have no idea what they want to study. That is completely fine. Trust me, it's okay. But these are people that know that whatever they end up doing, college is going to be beneficial to them. Because they kind of have an idea somewhere what they're interested in, and they kind of know that in the long run, being here at school is going to be a good idea. They're not just there. So they've already made a decision that college was for them. Otherwise, they really wouldn't have been there, and nobody would be wasting their money on them. Or they wouldn't be wasting their own money racking up student loans. These student loans are real out here, okay? We don't want you to rack up student loans if you're unsure about going to college. Now, once you have figured out the areas and things that you're interested in, you've gone on campus tours, and you've taken the PSAT, taken the SAT, yada, yada, yada. You still have time to figure out if college is right for you. Why? Because you haven't spent hundreds of dollars on applications. Yes, you have to pay to submit an application. Why? I really don't understand the concept of it. But you do have to pay for it. So, yes. Also, another tidbit. You do have to pay to send your SAT scores to school. I think College Board gives you like 3 or 4 free ones that they'll just send. But anyone after that, you have to pay for. I don't know what the fee is. I really don't. I applied to 6 schools, so I did have to pay for a few to be sent. Yeah. I don't know what the price is at this point. You can go on College Board and it'll tell you all of that information. If you don't have a College Board account because you haven't taken the PSAT or the SAT or the ACT, you could just go on College Board and create an account. It's fine. You don't have to take a test to get an account. You can create one. Just be careful of when you do actually take the test that you put in the correct College Board information on your tests. Like your email that you use is still the same so that they don't like open up 2 accounts for you. Because then it'll get confusing. You'll get confused. Trust me. But yeah. So you still have time to figure out if you're actually going to send in those applications, because they cost money and we don't want you to spend unnecessary money. So this is when you really need to think about, hey, where do I see myself in 10 years? Now, when I say that, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I know you poor little high schoolers are probably thinking, I'm going to be successful in doing all this. I might actually be married with kids, and I might have a house or all my career. Ooh, sure. You might. Some of you might. Some of you might. But the overwhelming majority of us, no. I'm 23, and I just got into my field now, like a month ago. So it's real out here to be an adult. That's just me being honest. But yes, sit down, think about what you want to do. we're going back to those college board assessments or any type of assessment that assesses your interests or your personality and kind of gives you job markets or careers that you could do. Mine was nursing and teaching and something else that I was like, huh? I was like, this is not, I don't want to do this. But crazy thing is I ended up doing some form of teaching in undergrad for my work study job. And I actually enjoyed it. Would I teach as a career? Probably not. But would I do some teaching every now and again? Like if I was a TA or if I was a substitute teacher? I might do some things like that. Very interesting to me, and I did actually enjoy it. So, the assessment test wasn't far off. Nursing, not my cup of tea. Medical school, I'm trying to stay far away from medical school. Just medical school, anything medical, nursing school, RN, all of that. No, I'm trying to stay away from it. That ain't for Dara. But basically all of my career options were helping people, and they involved a great deal of empathy. So I was like, okay, I can go for that. These are the careers that are here. I can do things. Counseling was one of them, but at the time when I took the assessment test, I was like, I don't want to be a counselor. So, secret. When I first started the college whole process, I wanted to be a pastor. Whew. Mercy. I wanted to be a pastor, and I was like hard pressed on going to school for that. Like literally hard pressed. I was like, yeah, I'm going to Oakwood, I'm going to Andrews University or whatever other Adventist school that I could get a theology degree at. I was so ignorant. I didn't realize that, hey, there's other Christian schools that you can get a theology degree at. Duh. But this is how the college process opened my mind a lot. Yeah, I wanted to be a pastor, and then I took the assessment test, and I was like, wait a minute. There's all these other careers that I could be doing? Wait, let me look into this stuff. So I started looking into things. Again, I did lots of research on different careers, how much schooling it would take, and, how much money I would make. Yes, that is important. I needed to understand that this is the money that I would be making, and I had to live off of that. So, I did that. And then I talked to a mentor of mine, and they were asking me, yeah, I know you're starting the college process. Do you know what you're going to major in? Do you have an idea? What have you been thinking about? And I was like, I really don't know. I'm kind of like up in the air. And they asked me what I liked. At the time, I just blurted out, I love kids. I do. To this day, I still love children. They're angels. They're adorable. They're the greatest thing ever. And I love helping people. And so he was like, well, there's a lot of things you could do with that. You could be a teacher. You could be a social worker. You could be a therapist. You could, there was something else, like have your own daycare, things like that. You could be a nurse or a doctor that helps children. You could be a pediatrician, all of these things. And I was like, you're right. So when he said I could be a therapist, I saw that word, with counseling on my assessment list. So I did more research on that. And turns out I really enjoyed what could be done with this career. Basically, anything I wanted to do. So, my senior year, I decided to take a class that would be toward the field, which was my psych class, intro to psych. So, I took that class, and that is when I realized that, yeah, I wanted to to major in psychology. That was it, the end. This is what I wanted to do. I loved every second of psych. Like, literally every second of psych. And I was like, I could put this together with kids. This would be the greatest job ever. I would never hate going to work. Perfect, right? Yes. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. I went to school. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. And now I'm getting my master's in mental health counseling. Right. So, if you're trying to decide what your interests are or what you want to major in for college, take some classes in high school that could be toward your major, or that could be a major. You don't have to wait till you get to college to do these types of exploring. A lot of schools have basic classes like psychology that get you in the door. Like biology is, another class. You could be a bio major. You can do a lot with a bio major. Like a lot. It's definitely different being a bio major in college than taking a bio class in high school. It's a lot different. Like, I had a friend that was a bio major for all of 2 weeks, and she was like, nope, this ain't for me. I'm gonna go to my communications now because I can't can't do that. Also, a little tidbit for those who do feel like college is for them but are still undecided of what they really want to major in. Go in undecided, or go in as a communication major or a business major, because guess what? You could do anything with those majors. That is such a big, broad field, especially communications. What? Go do that if you just have to not go to school undecided. But yeah, I hope that I've given some advice on how to start thinking about whether college is the right thing for you. For my people that already know that college is not for you for whatever reason, then do what you think is best. Go to a trade school, or if you want to, have a degree under your belt, get an associate's degree in something. Like, get a skill. Learn a skill. Don't just say, oh, I'm not going to college. I'm just going to work at whatever job I can get. Because it's 2017 and we do not live in that society anymore where you can just get a job anywhere. You won't get a job that will help sustain you. You won't be able to support yourself like this. So learn a skill. Please, I beg you, learn a skill, work in the skill that you've learned. Learn 2 or 3 skills. You'll be better off than just not doing anything, just because of the society that we live in. And sadly, you can't really do music or fashion or anything without having a degree or the years of experience. And we all know, us millennials, we hear this all the time. Oh yeah, you have a degree, but we need 2 to 3 years of work experience. What? The amount of times I've seen these words and I've heard them from interviewers. What are you saying to me? I need this amount of years of working experience. I haven't done anything with my life. I'm in college. You're not letting me work right now. I'm trying to get work experience. So it's crazy, the world we live in, with trying to get a job and trying to support ourselves and become, good adults that know what we're doing in life. It's hard. So like I said, if you decided college is not for you, that is totally fine. Go to a trade school, learn a skill. If you're the type to want to go to the military, do that. Go to the military, get some discipline, fight for your country, and guess what? You retire, they'll pay for you to go to school. So if you change your mind, you can do that. There's so much that you can do, but don't feel like just because you didn't go to college, or you don't want to go to college, or it's not for you, that you can't do anything with your life. or that you won't be successful or you won't be good at anything. Because that's just not true. But you have to do something. That's all that there is. That's my advice. You have to do something, but it doesn't necessarily have to be college. But yeah. Thanks, you guys, for listening. There will be a part 2 of this episode soon. I'm going to ask my friends what they thought about when they were thinking about college and how did they decide that college was the right thing for them. So yeah, there will be a part 2. I'll let you know when that's coming up. Most likely in 2 weeks. But yeah, thanks for listening, you guys. Let's handle some business. So, announcements, same as always. 1, I'm not taking another hiatus. Okay, the summer got a little crazy. Like I said, I had a summer class. I changed jobs. Life was happening for me a little bit too fast. So I had to take a break and handle some responsibilities. But I'm back. Next episode is going to come out, the third Sunday, as always. Follow me on social media, on Facebook at Gwen's Daughter, on Instagram at Gwen's Daughter the podcast. Email me at gwensdaughter86@gmail.com and listen to me on YouTube. This is where you listen to the episodes. YouTube at Gwen's Daughter. Guess what, guys? Episodes are back on SoundCloud. Yes, I took that leap of faith and put it back on SoundCloud. So if you have SoundCloud, listen there as well. And that's all the announcements I have for this week. See you guys in 2 weeks. Enjoy the rest of your day. The quote of the day is brought to you by Congresswoman Maxine Waters. And she simply said, over and over again, reclaiming my time.